Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we're just a little under a week away now from the Blast Paris Major, which is the last Valve-held CSGO tournament before fully transitioning into CS2 within the next year, the Major starts Monday, May 8th, yet we still haven't gotten the update, which includes the capsules, the viewer pass, souvenir packages, and quite possibly something brand new. Most of us thought it would come during the Tuesday weekly maintenance update, but that hasn't happened yet. Gaben also sleeps in on weekends, so realistically it has to be today being Thursday or tomorrow Friday. With everyone so focused up with what these stickers are going to look like for very good reason and investing into packages we haven't even seen yet, I think it's very important but yet a good idea to give everyone a market update on the two most recent beloved majors when it comes to crafting and investing, that being Stockholm and Antwerp. You'll see what prices look like right now, meaning before the update, so you can come back and compare these to no matter what outcome we see. I'll also give my scenarios with the Paris Major stickers either looking very good or bad, which will then dictate how older and popular stickers or just items in general will react. Today's video sponsor is Market.CSGO. Market.CSGO is a buying and selling marketplace for your skins, but most importantly, a peer-to-peer site. So the wait times in between trading, buying, or selling are as low as possible. The marketplace has over 100,000 trades a day, and even a built-in tab to find the best deals to make the most amount of profit possible. It also has a built-in client via download or Chrome to make trading very profitable, but most importantly, as safe as possible. Selling is as easy as the click of a button with extremely low fees, that of course being 5%. Definitely one of the best in its field and gives you an edge versus other competition. Once you sell an item, it goes directly to your balance. From there, you can choose to cash out with many different options, many more than other rival sites. Market.CSGO is one of the best of its competition. With its low selling fees, scam-proof client, and a large amount of cash out options, I can't recommend this site enough. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Taking a look at Stockholm and Antwerp, we have 3 items for each major. For both majors, we have the capsules and of course the holos, and this is where things get a little interesting. For Antwerp, I've decided to choose the glitters because people use them a lot more. They're becoming a lot more expensive yet popular because they're a cheap alternative to all the other holos. And then for Stockholm, I've decided not to go with foils or anything weird yet patches, which some people actually might find this a little more odd, but I thought it would mix some things up. Starting off with Antwerp, we have all the capsules, and as you can see, the quantity has definitely decreased just the past few months alone. During the 75% off sale for something like Antwerp, all of these capsules were over 500,000. Now they're under 20, pushing the under 10 mark. The most expensive at $2, that being the Legends, because it has the Cloud9, Copenhagen Flames, very popular teams. The most expensive autograph is $14,000, $1.22. This is the Contenders with the Rocks holo, but it doesn't really take that king too much because the prices aren't really that much different. Now, I will go over at the end what I would go with out of everything, but for me personally, I would stick to something that you know is not going to return anytime soon. And another very important thing to note is there's not going to be a major or any stickers for a CSGO professional tournament with teams or players for almost a year. So Stockholm and Antwerp supply is going to be eaten up, be very expensive. This next major could be an opportunity, if not maybe go to something a little older. As it goes for the holos, the most expensive is obviously the Rocks, then you have Monacy, then you have Cloud9s. Very good reason, very good looking, it's pretty rare, and for a lot of people, it's probably their favorite Cloud9 holo, maybe besides DreamHack 2014. The Rocks, this one's had an interesting journey. It's been pumped well over $200. It's gone from 100 to 200 in almost the same day before. Some market manipulation, but for the most part, it's just natural demand, at least right now. But if you see this thing go sky high, don't be surprised. He is a benched player on this team. Doesn't seem to be coming back anytime soon. The same thing goes with the capsules. Go with teams, go with players that you know aren't going to be returning, at least in this next year or so. Glitters is the same situation, but you can also play it a little bit differently. Go with the glitters for the holos anyway that you think are already going to go up more or are already expensive that are just going to get more popular over time. The Rocks glitter, the Cloud9 are 2 great examples, and I saw a lot of people make a lot of money on them. If you want to do a little bit of gamba, don't suggest putting too much in. Go for a team, go for a player that you think is going to be really good, possibly win the major, buy one of their glitters, not going to break the bank on you. Worst case scenario, you lose a couple bucks. Now going into Stockholm, things are a little bit differently, especially when it comes to quantity. And the most quantity in anything is the Legend sticker capsule, but it's still $3. The most expensive capsule is still the Challengers at $11, and the quantity is 1,100. Why is this so expensive? Well, it has the Pain Gaming, it has the Mouse, the Movie Star Riders, and a few others, but those are mainly the 3. A lot of these teams are going to be returning, but once again, the thing with Stockholm is the rarity, and that's on the side of everyone who is bought in and holds these right now. So that's a pretty good thing at the moment. The Contenders has been something to rise very slowly but surely. Why is that? Well, you have teams like Tyloo, Copenhagen Flames, and Virtus Pro, and also teams like Godsend, which are a very large majority of teams that are not going to be returning anytime soon, at least in CSGO. Could they in CS2? For sure, but they also could have a completely different logo and roster. Now, both Antwerp and Stockholm's holo market has been very odd, to say the least, but it's somewhat understanding. If you take a look at something very random like the mouse, or even something like the Rocks Hollow from Antwerp 2022, this is the Rocks, this is the mouse Hollow. They look pretty similar with graphs, not extremely similar, not with prices, but just kind of a stagnant line. Like, this is the mouse, and it hasn't really gone up and it hasn't really gone down. The same thing also goes with the Rocks and the majority of these stickers. I think at the moment demand is low, not insanely low, but people just want something new. A lot of players and people who buy these stickers didn't really count Rio as a major because of how poorly they looked and just horribly received from the community they were. Like, you would think Virtus Pro would go up a lot because they're a disband team, same thing with Tyloo, but it's actually been quite the opposite. These have been falling. I also think players are very worrisome of the Paris major stickers looking pretty good because of how bad sales were for Rio. Valve's gonna have to make up some money somehow because of them doing bad, so they're gonna have to whip out a decent design or something brand new we haven't seen before, which eventually obviously will hurt these prices. So I think that'll just be for the short term. Now, things like Copenhagen Flames, I'm gonna say are not really fair. Their prices have already returned back to normal anyway. They were a $10 to $13 sticker, shot all the way up to 30. Now they're back at 20, and they're probably gonna be at like 15 or 16 for a new norm. Now, as it goes for Stockholm patches, I've talked about this a couple times in Mando Monday. Will they return in Paris? Most likely not, but there is that possibility. If they did return, it would obviously affect these prices, but I think it would also boost the popularity since more people are playing the game right now than they were back in Stockholm. More people would have the opportunity to buy them for a certain price and apply them, which means people would go back and buy these more rare patches. That's just something I've thought about, but since they sold so horribly, as you can see how many listed on the Steam market, I don't think they'll be returning. Now, this leads me into my very first scenario that I want to discuss, that being the Paris major stickers look insanely good. Right after this, when they first release, Stockholm and Antwerp were immediately crashed, but I think Stockholm will be solid long term. It'll just take a very long time to recover since they're rare. Antwerp, I think the same thing. It'll just take a little extra time depending on how many of these things are bought, but also how good they look. Scenario number 2, these stickers look very bad or extremely mid. I think both Stockholm and Antwerp will spike and have a new hype, but prices won't stay forever. Just like how we saw with all these different players retiring, the Copenhagen Flame situation, prices will eventually start to level out. I also think prices will also have a new norm. For an example, the mouse sticker, for an example, being $130 at this very moment, instead of it being $130, it might get spiked all the way to $200. It might have a new norm at $160 to $150. Not that much more from what it originally was, but not as much as also it was at the all-time high, if that makes any sense. Now, investing into either one of these events before the Paris major, I think runs a pretty big risk. Really want to, you have that extra income, definitely go for it, but don't expect to stay in the green for very long. If you're holding some at the moment because you've bought some either during the 75% off sale or just in the past couple of years, if you have lots, I would probably sell a couple, sell a fair share, but also don't sell them all because you run that risk of these going up very quickly. As it goes for some real investment advice, I would personally just look into capsules and stickers for players and teams that won't be returning in the next CSGO major, that being in Copenhagen 2024, or to the game at all in the near future. That's always worked out for a lot of people, but you gotta make sure they're somewhat popular, especially when it comes to players. Teams, well, they can come and go. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one, hopefully during the Paris major. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys.